Hi, this is Eve, author of Detox With Ease, available on Amazon, Kindle, and for a smaller price on my website, detoxthebodymcs.com. And soon I'm going to upload a YouTube audio. Just to clarify, it's not really an MCS book, it's a really all-over detox book. It's a book I wrote that anyone can read. It's really good to give to your friends and people around you so that they can understand something about toxins, and that might actually inspire them to change some of their products, which would help everyone who has MCS. That's chemical sensitivity. So what I just wanted to talk about today is the social life of persons with chemical sensitivity. I was talking to Cheryl Ann on the phone last night, and she was reminding me what my life used to be like. And my life used to be like, oh, I went to go for a walk with a friend outside in the forest, but I was reacting to, some perfume she had on. And she said she didn't have any perfume on. So this is a huge thing that happens. When I was sick, my life just got smaller and smaller because I would have a friend. They would have no perfume on, but maybe it was from their jacket from 3 days before. There's people I've read about who, even if their child goes in the store and comes out and gets in the car or whatever, that will make them sick. Just all of the chemicals that are stuck to their clothes from their kid going in and out. So everyone's at a different level. I think my chemical sensitivity was kind of medium. I never had anaphylactic shock, but what I did have was neurological symptoms. So basically, I would get super irritable and I would just need to get out of there. I can't even remember the feeling exactly, but it was like, I just have to get out of here, I'm dying. And, wasn't able to think and reason, huge brain fog, and then I had a lot of trouble with my lungs. A lot of things affected my lungs. I think, chemical sensitivity is very different for different people. Some people swell up, some people get rashes. That's how it affected me. And, so I just call that being sick, It's not really sick. I didn't have the flu. I didn't consider myself sick at the time. But I was having reactions everywhere and more over time, even though I was diligently detoxing. I immediately diagnosed myself because I'm that kind of Googler, I was like, what's wrong with me? And I found it out. And started detoxing, started reading the books right away. But I was still getting more and more sick, and my life was getting smaller and smaller. I remember, I used to have all the windows in my apartment open 365 days a year. And this is, the Northeast, or at least, I believe it's very close to the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic. And I remember I still had friends at that time, and I was going to have a little party, I have not. And so I invited my friends over, or one friend that used to come over. All the windows would be open. It would be the middle of winter. I'd have my jacket on, I lived in my down jacket, and they're like, oh, it's kind of cold in here. And I'm like, hey, just put your jacket on. I had totally acclimated and become accustomed to living this way. So I think that I could just remember seeing my friend's face it's cold in here. And I'm like, come on, put your jacket on. I just was enjoying the fresh air. I couldn't go in anywhere. I would always felt like I was drowning, I couldn't breathe. I could tell the oxygen in any building and airflow. I'm still pretty good at it. I don't really notice it unless it's really bad. But if I went to investigate, I have a new gym that I go to, I know where the best air pockets are. And then try to stick to those pockets. But yeah, I felt like I was always gasping for breath. I was very sick, even in my own apartment. If somebody lit a fire down the hill, in the winter, it would come in my window. Luckily, I didn't have any laundry detergent coming in, or Bounce and fabric softener, but because that kind of goes in the back of the building. But I had smelled it once, a few times. So also your friends think you're really weird. They're like, I don't smell anything, and you're just dying, and you have to say something, because you want to keep your friend, so you're like, hey, do you mind, not wearing that or not using that? And then they go, I didn't use anything, because maybe it's on their jacket, or maybe there's stuff they don't even know, to them it's all non-toxic. So after a while, I just stopped going anywhere and I just accepted it. You know, that's what I had to do. Because when you're first sick, you keep trying to go out and do everything and be normal, and it just doesn't work. And actually, your body's getting sicker. Like when I actually believe that chemical sensitivity is your body's in natural intelligence saying, "Don't get me around any more chemicals. I can't stand another chemical." Like I think, you know, there's that toxicity that your body can't detox it anymore. So that's why you really just can't be around chemicals. So it's very, very difficult emotionally with your friends, with your family. I remember one Christmas, my sister was making omelets and she had like 5 Teflon pans going. Well, I can't even be in a house with 1 Teflon pan. And, you know, I asked them to open the window and it was cold, so they just went crazy. So I just remember like sitting on the front step of my sister's house crying. And a lot of people, at least in my case, just thought I was either 1, crazy, 2, a prima donna. A lot of people thought I was a prima donna, like, oh, she needs the windows open, like she has to have everything her way. And I was just, if you have chemical sensitivity, you know, like I was just trying to survive and be able to stay in the environment. Let's see. But I really, for me, I just had to accept that I couldn't do the things I love to do. I couldn't go to the places I love to go. There was a few places that I could manage, you know, but basically wherever I went, I was going to come home feeling really not well. And I mean, luckily for me, and I do believe for you, you know, it did turn around, and one day things started getting better and better and better and better. And now I can go anywhere. But it's so funny, now I realize, you know, there's a lot of places I don't actually like going, like restaurants. I'm like, I just feel boxed in there, like, and I like my own food. It's so much more better. I use really the best ingredients and stuff like that. So I realized that after a while I was like, because even after I got well, I just was out of the habit of going anywhere and doing anything. And then I realized, you know, a lot of this stuff that I really didn't even want to do it anyway. And some people are surrounded by amazing people who really understand and help them out, but I think most people are not. I think your average person, it doesn't understand. So I use a lot of adaptive techniques. Like I started saying I had asthma. I only figured this out at the end. I would have started it from the beginning because frankly, nobody wants to hear about your chemical sensitivity. Like after you get well, now I talk about it because I'm not needing air and look, I got well, you know. But when you say you have it and you're sick, I think it just freaks people out. I don't know what it is, but people do not want to know. And you know, after a while I came up with this phrase, it's either me or you, and I choose me because basically you have to be like, can you open the window? And if people don't want to open the window or do whatever it is you need them to do, like, you need to get away. And unfortunately, you may know this, in my case, whenever I had a reaction, it was very neurological. I was very irritable. Like I couldn't explain what I meant. I just was like irritable. Like nobody wants to talk to an irritable person, and you can't even. So asthma. So I started saying like, oh, I have asthma, and I still say that if people are using a bunch of chemicals, like maybe I'm not going to get sick from it, but I will feel it, and I don't like it. I mean, it's really bad, and a lot of people do have chemically induced asthma. Okay, that means that, 5 o'clock. I'm going to wrap it up because I can only do 10 minutes. But I just want to make these videos, chats about what it's like, tips you can use. Another huge tip for me is like, you're not going to convince anyone to change their laundry detergent. Like I did this for years, and mostly everyone just avoided me. And a lot of them still do. Anyway, so like, I would actually buy people stuff like, oh, here, I brought you this laundry detergent. Oh, look, these dryer sheets. Even though I didn't have money, like, it was a survival. And then people are like, oh, thank you, that's so nice. And you're like, yeah, if you could use that when I'm around, like, I'm very sensitive and I have asthma. You know, like, asthma's a good one, or just make up any illness that you need to. Something, like, legit. You can bring awareness, and it won't always be that way. Like, we can show people that, I mean, it's a growing thing. That's why I'm making more videos. I mean, huge amounts of people are chemically sensitive, but A, they don't even know it, because they don't even know why they feel so awful. Because chemicals are everywhere, so it's like being a fish in water. It's not until you start taking out all the chemicals that you realize even which ones bother you. And yeah, so chemical sensitivity, very, very bad for your social life. But here's the thing is that I do think it's for a reason. Like in my life, I just went inside, I meditated, I did yoga. Now I'm like a completely different person. I'm 100 times more happier. And B, I don't have any, all of my friends are lovely people. They're not like just people that I always was friends with. And I don't know, I have a very different life. And you know, a lot of it was due to changes, you know, that I had to make in order to get well. And you know, now I look back and I was like, oh yeah, it was an interesting time of really just, you know, dealing with, like, you know, saying, you know what, I can just be by myself. Like, it's okay. I just did it. And now I can be by myself, you know, a lot of people can't. So you learn amazing things with this condition. Be well, like my page, subscribe, and comment. Kind comments only, please. And ask any questions you want. Hopefully I will be able to answer them. Thank you.